Welcome to another episode of Theological Pipe. News, culture, sports, politics, and everything else from a theological perspective.
It's all summed up in love.
What should I do? Tell me. God is good. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give me peace. Give me peace.
Put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. Hey, welcome to another episode of Theological Pipe. Glad you're here. If you're on YouTube, click the subscribe button, the comment button, the like button. If you're listening on Google or Apple or Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio now. Pocket Cast, Radio Publica. There's a bunch of podcast apps that we're on, or podcast platforms. Subscribe, appreciate it. Wanted to tell a story about someone. I'm not going to use their name, but I was at a church. And a guy got up and sang a song. Sometimes at different churches, people will do like a special song or someone will sing a solo. And this person got up and sang a song. And if you were a music critic, if you were someone who was just judging the person on their vocal performance, on their stage presence, and all that stuff, you would have, you would have not hit your buzzer if you were a judge on The Voice. If you were on American Idol, you would have been ruder than Simon Cowell based on the way the performance went. And I'm probably overselling the badness of it. It just wasn't that good. It wasn't the worst in the world, but compared to a lot of people that get up on stage, it wasn't that great by all the metrics that most people use. But for me, and I'm not like joking here or trying to be silly, but for me, it was one of the greatest things that I had seen on a stage or on a platform or from a church in my history of going to church. I still remember the performance. And the reason that it meant so much to me is every second that person was on stage singing the song, I believed him. I believed every word. I believed every action. I knew that he was singing. Now, he was singing about Jesus. He was singing about God. He was singing about all that God had done for him and God being, there for us. And every word, I believed him. And I think that's so important, at least for me, to believe the person on the stage. Give me, this is just personal, give me someone who's got tons of passion, tons of heart, and believes what they're doing, in any platform, whether it's music or acting or painting or poetry or writing or anything you do. If you do it with passion and you mean it, and I know that you mean it and I believe you, I'll take that over someone who's pitch perfect, someone who has every move down to a T, but I don't believe them. And so for me, this guy had tons of passion, and it overshadowed the fact that his talent wasn't really there. And for me, again, that's just something I think that's important when it comes to what we do with our lives and how we do things. Do it with passion. Do it with conviction. Mean it when you do it. Don't just go through the motions. Even if you're really good at it, I think, again, if you're going through something and you're really good at something and you're just going through the motions, I would rather have somebody who maybe wasn't as good, wasn't as polished, but meant every minute of it, and you knew that it meant something to that person. And again, this guy, when he was done, there was no way that anyone could walk away from that performance and say that that person didn't love God, that he didn't love Jesus. He may have been off pitch. He was. He may have missed some lines. He did. He may have done some movements that were a little strange. He did. But I believed him. And I think that's more important to me. That's more important. Believability, passion, being truthful, being honest. I think that's more important than having talent and just going through the motions to go through the motions. And I'll never forget that performance, and it means a lot to me, and it means a lot when it comes to other artists, other people who go on a stage and pick up a guitar or put a microphone to their mouth and they sing and they play. If you're a dancer, again, if you're an actor, if you put yourself out there, just mean it. Just do it with passion. Do it with gusto. Do it with conviction. And that comes across more than being pitch perfect. I think back to, there are a lot of singers I follow, or singers I like. I'm going to use probably one of the better examples, Johnny Cash. Are you going to tell me that he was a pitch perfect, wonderful singer? The answer is no. But everything that he sang you believed everything that he said. He was so good, in fact, that he would take other artists' songs, and when he sang them, you believed him over the guy that wrote the song. You know, use the song "One" by U2, "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails. You can go. He's redone Bob Dylan songs. He's done so many songs, and they're sung in the typical Johnny Cash style, the real deep baritone, and you know, I'm not even going to attempt to replicate it here, but. Why is Johnny Cash an icon? Why is he an amazing musical legend that still, even after his death, is still relevant and still going to be relevant 50 years from now? Because people believe him. You believe what he sings. You believe what he says. And I think that's important. So I don't know that there's really like a point to this. I just was thinking about, different things as we get closer to Christmas and things that I want to maybe emulate is to have passion and to do things with passion and make people believe me. So if I'm singing a song, if I'm, teaching a lesson, if I'm working, whatever it is, I want to do it with passion and I want to do it with gusto. Even I may not be the best, but you're going to believe that I have that I believe in what I'm doing. I've said this to people before. If I go to any restaurant, to any bar, to any venue, and let's say there's a guy that's on stage playing music, I don't care if they're good. Number one, you have to have tons of guts to get up and put yourself out there with an instrument, and whether it's I'm using music, but any kind of art, you have to have such. There's a vulnerability there of saying, this is me, I'm putting this out there. So if you're on stage and you're singing a song or you're playing your instrument, even if you're horrible, you have my ultimate respect. And again, if I believe you, that's the important thing. You may hit a wrong note. You may sing off key a little bit. But if you're up there singing and you're singing from your heart, that means something to me. So for me, strive to be good, strive to be perfect, strive to get better at what you're doing. But whatever you do, if you do it with passion, if you do it with believability, if you do it with honesty, I think that's important. And again, maybe I'm in the minority, I don't know. But I still think that give me passion, give me someone who's honest, give me someone who's truthful, give me someone who's doing something that means something to them. I'll take that over someone who's almost perfect and doesn't really care. You can fill in the blanks of artists or people that you see, musical artists, other artists that you can see that maybe it doesn't mean a lot to them and they don't care, and they get this attitude, or people that they're humble and it means a lot to them. Passion trumps your performance or your talent. Passion trumps talent. How about that? Passion trumps talent, in my opinion. Now, again, a beautiful moment is when you have both, when you have a lot of talent and tons of passion. And when that happens, it's magical. But again, give me passion and believability and truthfulness and honesty over talent that I don't believe every day or any day. So I don't know. It's just something to think about, something to put in your theological pipe and smoke it. And I think if you want to get spiritual for a second, I think that is almost, and I'm shooting from the hip here, so this might not really be biblical, but it could be biblical. God's concerned about our heart. He's concerned about where we are here, not so much in our actions. He wants our heart to lead us to action. But is your heart in the right place? Are you doing things for the right reasons? Love is the reason you do things, right? He talked about that. There's going to be gifts and prophecy and other gifts that are great and important, but love is what's most important, right? Where your heart is, where your passion is. Are you doing things out of love, or are you doing things because you can and you have the talent? Maybe that's like a theological moment that I can intertwine into this story about the guy singing on stage. So put that in your theological pipe and smoke it. Be nice, and we'll see you next time.
Well, bye.